be working, hold on to the thought, Leo, I'll get to you in a second. What we're going to be working on now, we talked about it just a little bit, I kind of introduced it, talking about those text structures. We're thinking about the way that a text is formatted that lets us know what kind of information is in there. So text structures, you're going to be writing on these guided notes. Looks like this. The first slide you'll see has kind of the 4 little circles on the bottom. I will tell you guys what you're going to be writing in those blanks to fill out these notes. Then I'll collect them and put them in your notebooks for you guys. So remember, text structures are the way text is organized. So that's our first blank, is the word organized. You'll see it right there. So you should be writing organized in that first blank. The way that text is organized in a non-fiction book or article. So this is only with non-fiction. Remember, non-fiction is stories that are true. Informational text. So our second blank says there are 5 types of text structure. So we're going to be talking about these 5. So in that first box, you're writing the word organized and the word number 5. So go ahead and write that down. We're going to watch a little video about it, and we'll fill in the rest of these notes. So this video is a cool little song. It's going to kind of give you an overview before we...
The sky's the limit for your child's learning when you join their journey with a prodigy parent at. Though your child goes on.
So listen, this is going to give you a lot of good information. This is a good song.
Much like buildings, text, especially informational and non-fiction text, have to be structurally sound, or else they'll fall over. You feel me? Yeah. Let's get it. Let's go. When you read informational text, you see the pattern and the way that it's written, oh yes. There are 5 main structures you can check. Find the structure and they get less complex. Let's flex and break down all 5. Follow me, the text structure mastermind. This first text structure is called description. It describes the topic and its characteristics. You'll see such as and, for example, and details and adjectives like in this sample. The famous leaning tower of Pisa is located in Italy. Mamma mia! It stands over 180 feet tall, tilted 4 degrees like it's starting to fall. That's description. The author describes the tower, so you have the image in your mind. Now beat this. The structure called sequence. It gives events from way back to most recent. Construction began in 1173, but it was halted when war was decreed. Building stopped for a while, then resumed. Many years later in 1272, sequence contains dates and the words next, then, before, first, second, and third. Cause and effect is another way to organize. It's when authors tell what happened and why. Soft soil made the tower settle unevenly. As a result, it leaned increasingly. Builders tried to balance it with more floors. Due to extra weight, it leans even more. Words like because, since, if, then, due to, meaning the cause and effect is coming right to you. In text, I find description. I find sequence, cause and effect. We can compare and contrast all day, all day. There's a problem and solution, I bet. In text, I find description. I find sequence, cause and effect. We can compare and contrast all day, all day. There's a problem and solution, I bet. If you heard the hook, you already know. There's 2 more text structures to go. Sometimes the author introduces a problem and then explains how somebody solved it. The tower leans more with each passing century. The tilt increased to more than 5 degrees. The people feared it would collapse into ruins. Now we know the problem. What's the solution? Earth was removed from under the monument. The weights were added to balance out the top of it. They corrected the lean, at least a little bit. That's problem and solution, not a riddle, kid. Just look out for the words involved. Since question, problem, solution, and solve. I got another text, you don't have to ask. And it's text structure, compare and contrast. It explains how things are different and the same with the words in bold I'm about to say. Both the Tower of Pisa's construction and the Washington Monument saw destruction. The Washington Monument, named after George, that construction caused for the Civil War. Like the Leaning Tower, it took years to finish, but the purposes of the buildings were different. One was erected as a church bell's tower, while the other honored a founding father. There we compared the 2 different towers. That's 5 text structures in a 16th of an hour. In text, I find description. I find sequence, cause, and effect. We can compare and contrast all day, all day. There's a problem and solution, I bet. In text, I find description. I find sequence, cause, and effect. We can compare and contrast all day, all day. There's a problem.
one was kind of neat. It kind of breaks down a lot of what we're going to talk about. Talks about those 5 different structures. Remember on our first one, some of those who just came in, our 2 blanks on that first part were organized and 5. So we're going to talk about our first type. A lot of these are going to seem familiar to you, especially because you've read some. It kind of ties into our research paper too. Some of the structures you're going to be using are these structures we're going to discuss. Because the paper we're writing now is informational. It is nonfiction. So let's look at our first kind. And our first kind is descriptive. So a descriptive text structure is when an author uses detailed words. So that's what's going in your blank. Detailed words. They use detailed words to describe a person, place, event, animal, anything that can be described. That's what they're using, those detailed words. They're using details. There's a topic and there's details. Go ahead and find your sheets, guys. Carter, you get a chance. We're just working on these detailed notes or these text structure notes. I'm going to get you guys caught up. So the author uses those detailed words to create a clear picture or feeling in the reader's mind about a person, place, thing, or event. And underneath it, you'll see those little circles. What I want you guys to put here. So the author is describing a topic. And what are they using to describe a topic? What are they using to describe it? Details, exactly right, Bentley. So everything in these bubbles are just details. So if I was writing about dogs, I could talk about what species of dog, what type it is, what it eats, where it lives. Just like we're doing in our research paper, how you have your topic is your vertebrate or your invertebrate, and you're adding details about it, where it lives, what it eats, what it does. So this is our descriptive kind of text structure. So you should have basically that whole front page filled out. I know some of you guys who just came in. I'll get you guys caught up with the rest of it. So look, there's also a little picture on it under description that shows you exactly what's in there. So we're going to keep going. I want to show you guys an example passage. This might look familiar. A lot of the information you did in your research might kind of look like this. It is descriptive. It has facts and details about the topic, about the animal. And this descriptive detail is all about the coral snake. Maybe you've heard of it. So the coral snake is the topic, and the rest is supporting details about that topic. So coral snakes are distinguished by their red, yellow, white, and black colored banding. Most species are small in size. North American species average around 3 feet in length, but specimens of up to 5 feet or slightly larger have been reported. So it kind of introduces what it's talking about. It has facts and information about it. It's describing what it looks like, where it lives, what it does. Those are specific details all about it, describing this animal. And descriptive texts are a lot of times like things like Wikipedia, research papers, encyclopedia articles. Those are all descriptive because they are describing things using details. So that's our first kind. Our second kind we're going to talk about is called sequence. What does the word sequence mean? What does it mean if I tell you to do something in sequence? Yeah, exactly right. In an order, the specific order of the way it happens. So what you guys are writing in your blanks today, you're writing down text. The sequence text structure is when the author organizes information in the order it happened. So it has to be in the right order. It wouldn't make sense if it started in the middle and then went back to the beginning and then back to the front. It goes in a specific order. It could be things like a timeline of events. It could be things like a life cycle. So you're seeing lots of dates, you're seeing lots of times. You see like a timeline. That's a hint that you're looking at a sequence. Something that is happening in a particular order. And it needs to be in the order it happened or step by step. Step-by-step instructions, a lot of times, are a sequence text structure. Because you have to do it in that specific order, but it's not going to work right. Like if you're putting something together, you're building something, you need to make sure it's in the right order. So order it happened goes in your blanks on your guided notes. So for an example, something about a baby turtle's life cycle, how it starts off as a baby, grows up into a juvenile, and then into an adult. We know that's a sequence because that's the order of events of its life cycle. It's following those steps. So if you saw something like this and there was writing about it, that's a sequence text structure because it's telling you how they start out as babies, how they start to grow up, they mature, and then they have babies of their own, and it starts all over again. That is the sequence of a life cycle. So when things are organized in order, it is a sequence. In your arrow, what I want you to put in those 3 blanks is just 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a reminder. If you want to, draw an egg, draw a little baby sea turtle, and draw a big sea turtle. And I'm going to grade you on your drawings.
What?
I'm not.
Please do.
So that's just a reminder that that goes in the correct order. That we're talking about life cycles too. 1, 2, 3. Life circle. Life cycle. It's a circle or a cycle. That can mean the same thing. Alright, so our next one, we're about halfway through these. There's another one that you saw brought up in the video is a problem and solution. This is when the author discusses a challenge or a problem. So challenge or issue, and then explains how it was fixed or resolved. So your underlined words, challenge, resolved, are going in your blanks. Yes, sir. You may. So the author is bringing up something that's an issue, that's a problem going on, and they talk about how it was fixed, how it was solved. We'll look at an example too. But think about when we did our ocean plastic project, how we brought up the problem of too much plastic in the ocean, and you guys came up with solutions. That was a problem and solution format of text structure. So let's look at a passage and you can see how it is. So this one's all about oil. You saw on that last page I had a picture of an oil ship. So oil is an ancient fossil fuel that we use to heat our homes, generate electricity, and power large sectors of our economy. But when oil accidentally spills into the ocean, it can cause big problems. Oil spills can harm sea creatures, ruin a day at the beach, make seafood unsafe to eat. It takes sound science and many kinds of strategies to clean up the oil, measure the impacts of pollution, and help the ocean recover. So what's the problem in here? Elijah?
If oil was in the water, it would be as easy to maintain. It's not that
Yeah. The problem is that oil spills in the water. It happens a lot. So that's introducing a problem that we deal with, because a lot of times that's the way it's transported on these big ships all over the world. Sometimes it breaks or it spills. So what was the solution that they used to try to fix that? Leo?
they like try to do like this.
Think about it. What did it say in the passage? What did they use to fix it? Cash, what did they use? So is there one simple solution for this problem? No, there's lots of them. They have to use science, lots of different techniques and strategies. You can't just go out there with a bucket and scoop it up. But I just want to talk about the structure, how it introduces the problem and then what they use to fix it. So if you're reading something and it mentions a problem and then also how they fix it, that is your problem and solution format. So on that one, you're just going to put problem and solution. You can put something like oil spill. You can use an example, and that way you get to use science, strategies.
Can I draw a picture of oil spilling into the ocean?
You can draw pictures. These are your own notes. You can be creative with them. If you can think of a different example, you can use that too. Some sort of problem and some sort of solution to fix it.
Which one is that?
Oh, which one? Oil spill, science, / strategies. You can put your own, use mine. Make sure you write these down though. On some of you guys, I see you're still writing the blanks on this one. Remember we said it was a challenge and then resolve. Challenge and resolve. I know those are a little bit bigger words. So challenge, resolve.
You know what those oil rig things?
Yeah,
That's what most things.
that is.
Like oil.
I thought that was
Well, maybe it is. I thought it was oil when I put it on there. Alright guys, so we've talked about 4 of them so far, so there's one more we're gonna discuss. Actually, no, we talked about 3, there's 2 more. our next one's gonna look very familiar, because this is actually what we're doing on this research paper. We're also using the first one, description, but in your third paragraph, it's where you're comparing and contrasting. And that's when you're looking at how things are similar and how they're different, or how they're different. We're looking at the similarities and the differences between two or more things. In your paper, you're comparing a vertebrate and an invertebrate animal. They're different animals, but we are comparing them. We're looking at ways they're the same, ways they're different, characteristics they have that are different, body things they have that are different. Do they have different fins? Does one have a fin? Does one have claws? Is one a carnivore? Is one a herbivore? And then ways are the same. Do they live in the same region? Do they both live underwater? Do they both eat the same things? Do they both live in the same country? Yes, Hayden? You may. So in your blank should be similarities and differences. And that little diagram below it should look familiar. That's a Venn diagram. Remember, I used one of those to compare my Amazonian giant centipede with my capybara to talk about how we compare and contrast these things. Yes, ma'am? Yeah. So similarities and differences, that's what we're looking for when we compare and contrast. So if we were going to compare and contrast a shark and an orca, we could think of a lot of different ways and how they're different, how they're the same. What's one way and how they're the same? They both eat fish. What do you think, Wes?
Both live underwater.
Live in water. Anything else?
They're both dangerous.
They can both be kind of dangerous.
Both carnivores.
They're both carnivores.
Both invertebrates.
No, not.
Not invertebrates.
Yeah, they're both vertebrates. You're right.
Both have fins. Both eat each other.
Both have fins. Well, orcas eat great whites, but
Oh,
great
yeah,
whites
sorry.
don't eat orcas. You're right on the track there. So look, they have a lot of things in common. And when we're doing the Venn diagram, we put those all in the middle. But there's also ways that they're different. Sharks are just big fish. They're fish. We don't call them fish, we call them sharks, but that's what they are.
Orcas are whales.
Orcas are whales. They're actually not a whale. They're actually a type of dolphin.
Wait, but don't they eat dolphins though?
They do. It's actually a misnomer that they're called killer whales because they're actually a type of dolphin. But they are a mammal. They breathe air. They have to come up and get air from the surface.
One has more rows of teeth. The shark has more rows.
So orcas are also known for being nice to humans.
Yes, they are.
People swim with wild orcas. There's never been a recorded attack from a wild orca on a human.
Dolphins have sharks as well.
But there has
been from orcas in
Sharks can't come out of the water. They stay underwater, where orcas have to come up and breathe. Sharks will bite humans. They sometimes eat humans.
Not as much. It's an unlikely chance though.
It's still not a big chance. But look, these are the way we compare and contrast. And if I was to take that information and put it into a passage, I'd use that compare and contrasting text structure. So you can write some of those things. You can compare anything you want in there. I just want you to remember how we use that Venn diagram, how we compare and contrast things that are different. Yeah.
You could say sharks are more aggressive.
Very true. That's a nice word, aggressive. But orcas
I'm sorry, but if you're
eat great white sharks.
Well, yeah, but like
But nothing eats an orca.
orcas don't attack like as many animals. Like sharks, if they see something smaller than them, they usually think that's food. But orcas are more like they know exactly what
Yeah,
they're
orcas know. They're like, nothing can eat me. I'm the king of the sea, basically.
Orcas are predators and sharks are predators.
Yeah, but sharks are also predators, but yeah, we can say.
So orcas are like dolphins because dolphins don't attack people. Well, orcas are
Very true.
dolphins.
So look at this passage, and this is a compare and contrast example in a text structure. I'm going to read through it pretty quick. I just want you to see, this might be kind of what your body paragraph 3 in your research paper kind of looks like. So when it comes to the better predator in the ocean, the killer whale, the great white shark, several factors influence their ability to hunt, attack, and survive when competing against each other. Both marine animals are known to have teeth, and to use their teeth to grab their prey and tear its flesh apart. Both species also hunt small and large fish and various shark species. Although they share some characteristics, their anatomical features and hunting methods differ. So sharks are fish, killer whales are mammals. Whales need to breathe air, but sharks do not need oxygen to survive. They don't have to come up and breathe the air. They get their oxygen from the water. So they can stay submerged indefinitely underwater and at great depth. They can stay underwater forever. Where whales, if they stayed underwater for too long, they would drown, they would die. They have to come up and breathe. So it's estimated that a great white can dive all the way down to 4,000 feet, much deeper than a killer whale can go. But another difference is killer whales are a lot bigger. They're about twice as big as great white shark, and they're also faster, a lot faster. So think about, this shows how they're similar, how they are different. That's a compare and contrast text structure. That's when you can put facts about the dolphins, you can put just differences on the outsides and same in the middle. So differences, same. That's for you to use. So our last one we're going to talk about, before we move on to a little bit of practice, before we get to our research papers, is called cause and effect. This text structure explains why something happened, the cause of something, why something happened. That's what you're writing down. Why something happened. The cause and what happened because of it. The effect. It lists reasons, specific examples. So we're going to look at a passage that is a cause and effect. It talks about something that happened and what happened because of it. So we were talking about, going back to our social studies, World War I, if the cause was Archduke Franz Ferdinand getting assassinated, what was the effect?
War.
Yeah, war. That's what they called the inciting event. Or the cause was the Lusitania getting sunk. What did that do? Who did bring into the war?
America.
Yeah, the United States. That was the cause. The ship got sunk, and the effect was that the America joined the war. So if you were reading an article on that, it would probably be a cause and effect text structure. So let's look at one. I came up with this one myself. This short. So when people throw trash or other waste into rivers or other bodies of water, they destroy the habitat of many fish. As a result, the fish population in many areas has decreased. This can lead to less fish for humans and other animals to eat and drops in available resources. So our cause is pollution or trash. Pollution in water. And then our effect is what? Oh, that's a terrible error. What's our effect?
Death.
Less fish, less food. So if you're throwing all this pollution in the water, you can write those in your arrows and your blanks. If you're throwing the pollution in the water, you have less fish to eat. So your cause is people throwing trash, and the effect is less fish available for people to eat, for people to look at, for other animals to eat. Yes?
And plus, we get water from it.
Fill these out?
And plus, we get water, and it can be like the river.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, we get water from there.
So let's look at our,
So wait, what?
the last thing we're going to do before we move on. If you look at the very back of these, there are two passages. I'm going to read these passages. I'm going to call on some of you guys to try to tell me if you can determine which kind of text structure it is. So the first one says, panda bears and koala bears may both be adorable, but they are quite different too. For starters, panda bears are native to China, while koala bears are found only in Australia. Panda bears have black and white fur, while koala bears have grayish-brown fur. Another big difference is their diet. Pandas mostly eat bamboo, while koalas survive on a diet of eucalyptus leaves.
What?
Panda bears are also much bigger than koalas and can weigh up to 250 pounds, while koalas are typically only around 20 pounds. Despite these differences, both bears are cherished and loved by people all around the world. What kind of text structure is that? What? I didn't hear it. Yeah, it's compare and contrast. It's comparing pandas and koalas, and it's saying how they're the same, how they're different. So let's look at our last one, and we'll move on to some independent practice. The Golden Gate Bridge is an iconic landmark located in San Francisco, California. It is a stunning suspension bridge that spans across the Golden Gate Strait, connecting the city to Marin County. The bridge is known for its vibrant red-orange color and its impressive size. It stands tall at a height of 746 feet and stretches for 1.7 miles. The Golden Gate Bridge has become a symbol of San Francisco and is admired for its beauty and engineering marvel. Thousands of cars and pedestrians cross the bridge every day, enjoying breathtaking views of the city, the bay, and the Pacific Ocean. It is truly a remarkable sight to behold. So what do you guys think? What do you think that kind of text structure that is?
Description.
Yeah, it's descriptive. It's describing the Golden Gate Bridge, where it is, what it looks like, what it's known for. It gives you facts, it gives you details, it gives you specific information about the thing it is describing. So good job on those guys. Make sure you fill in all those answers. Make sure your names are on those, and I want you to, I will collect them. But what we're going to work on now, go ahead and put them to the side with your names on them. We're going to work on a little activity where you guys are going to be looking at some passages and trying to solve something on your own.
Mr. Long, I didn't.
I know some of you guys came in late.
You didn't do any of them though. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know where to go.
Make sure your names are on those notes.
And it changed your taste buds. So like we ate a lemon and it tastes like orange. It was so cool. Yeah, we take so it changed sweet things to sour. So sour yeah, tastes good. Sour things taste good. A lemon that tastes like orange.
I've seen that on YouTube.
Yeah, I need to call it like put it in your mouth and chew it up. Don't swallow it. Chew it up and just squish it around in your mouth. 30 seconds. Mr. Long, you gave us too much.
I know, I didn't count them, I just handed them out. I'll come back and get the extras. So what I want you guys to do on this, I'm going to be calling some people to my desk to just kind of talk about the understanding, maybe doing some examples together, kind of having little conferences. And I want you guys to work on this. You can work on these with your group. Look at the passages. Maybe pick one person to read them or have somebody different read each one. And circle which answer you come up with. Which type of text structure do you think it is? I will be calling people at my desk to talk about some of it as well. So good job on that, guys. Work on this for a little bit, and then we'll have some time to keep working on our research paper.